What's up YouTube, Cunningham Cichlids back with another video here. So when you have as many tanks as I do, we're going to talk about what's an important lifeline for your fish room. So let's go take a look. So an important lifeline I am referring to is your air pump for your filtration. When you have as many tanks as I do, well over 80, you basically want to run everything on air driven as much as you can. So if we look at what I have, so right there is an Alita 200 that runs, it's my mainstay to my room. I have it coming into 1.5 inch pipe, and then it comes down and I reduce it to 1 inch pipe here. I have a bleeder valve in case I need to bleed off excess air. I can do that. And then same thing here, it goes 1.5 and then reduces down to 1. So this Alita 200 runs basically this whole wall of tanks you're seeing here, all on sponge filters. There's no hang in the back filters. It runs the air in these tanks here. So these are, I do have Cunningham Title 110s on these tanks, and also air filters. Same thing with these. It runs all the air for the air filters in these tanks. It runs air in all my fry racks, which is tanks there, tanks here, tanks over here. It also runs the air in this set of 125s and the air in this 165 and 150 at the bottom. And it also runs the air in these 675s over here. So that runs well over 60 tanks, well over 120 something outlets, because the fry racks are singles, but there are tumblers and other stuff that runs over there. So that's my AL200. So I did have a scare the other day, actually yesterday. I came home Saturday, didn't come down to the fish room after I got home by mistake. I got down to the fish room about 1 o'clock on Sunday to start doing water changes, and my tanks had no air at all. So what happened is my breaker popped for some reason and it shut down. Of course, it was a breaker that runs this main pump, so it shut down the air to my tanks. So good thing is the only thing I lost was some fry and some tumblers that I can reproduce, some lemon jakes and some extra chromas antigeny fry, and some tumblers. So that wasn't a total loss. I mean, I lost those, but could have been worse. To fix that, what I'm doing actually is I got wire I pulled. I'm getting a new outlet put in here, and I'm going to run my air pump on its own 20 amp circuit. That way I shouldn't have any issues, because on the circuit it runs on is my dehumidifier. There's lights, there's heaters, there's things that I'll run on this circuit as well. So it could have just overloaded the circuit when the dehumidifier went to go turn on. Not really sure, but needless to say, it'll be on its own circuit in a week and I won't have to worry about that. The thing I did, because this was a build in progress, so I've added on, like these tanks were here, but there was never air to them, and now there's air to them. So what I did is I took advantage of ball valves. So you'll see in my system there's different ball valves. There's one here, there's one there. And these are open, so the air is flowing, you know, through the pipe, down to this pipe. It's flowing back over here to my fry racks. You also look, there's a ball valve here, and there's one down at the end down there. And then I have ball valves over here, and another one there, and another one there. So this is the end part of my loop of my system back here. So these tanks up to basically this ball valve on the wall run, the AL200 runs all these outlets again, and it runs all the front of the room. Now this ball valve is shut, and then this one picks up, it's open. These are open. So if we go back here, I have an AL80 back here, Alita 80, that runs this whole wall. Used to be a wall of 20 long, so that's why there's still valves that are not being used. But anyways, it runs air in these sponge filters for these 125s. These 125s down here. Runs all these tanks on air over here, these 75s, these 40s, and these 30 longs. and it also runs air in these tanks here. So I designed my system a certain way with ball valves because in case that AL200 let go or I needed to rebuild it, I needed a way to segment my system smaller so I could get it running on smaller pumps. So over here, if I walk, I have an AL120 as a backup just sitting there. And also if we go back here, I have another AL120 that I got for a really good deal off another Hobbies. It's brand new in a box. And I have a used AL80 sitting up there. So I do have adequate backups. So if my AL200, Elita 200 was to go down, I could plug in my AL120. I could turn on top of the racks. And also I could take the 200 down and put an AL120 in its place. So when you run over 80 plus tanks, or your main filtration system is these linear piston pumps, you want to make sure you have adequate backups in case they need a rebuild, because it might take long if you don't have a rebuild kit in stock to order a rebuild kit. Now you can also get Mito pumps from Gemco. I've just always ordered mine when I started my fish room from the Elitas from Ken's Fish. The Mitos are just as good of a linear piston pump. Or if you have multiple, a lot more tanks than what I have, you could run a blower. I just chose not to run blowers because they are loud and I don't want to deal with the noise. You can put a boxer on a blower, but I didn't want to deal with the noise that a blower would make, so I've chose to go with linear piston pumps. So again, that's an AL200, Elita 200 that runs the majority of my room with an AL80 in the back corner. So thanks for watching. I just wanted to show the pumps that run are my main lifeline in my fish rooms. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Also, let me know in the comments if you have multiple tanks or you have a couple tanks. What do you use for air pumps in your tanks or in your fish room? I'd like to hear what options you're using. If you're using Elitas, what sizes, or if you're using the Mitos from Gemco, or if you're using AP Pond Masters or different sizes, different brands. I like to always learn, see what other hobbyists are doing. So let me know again in the comments how many tanks you have in your fish room and what size pump are you running. Are you using 1-inch PVC? Are you using 3/4 inch PVC? So appreciate you watching, liking, sharing, subscribing. Hit the notification bell so you get notified when I upload new videos. And thanks again.